Hello game reviewer and welcome to my channel. Sounds like EA is having problems with trust. Not only PC gamers, but here's the thing, I just saw an article here on Trusted Reviews that says that they want to regain trust of the PC gamer. Man, do they have a lot of work to do. It's really interesting because I remember EA for their earlier titles, which were good by the way, like the Bard's Tale, Mule at a certain extent. I didn't go into the to the sports series, but they were really popular as well. A Skate or Die, for example. Populous Wing Commander, beginning by number 4 for EA. Dungeon Keeper, awesome strategy game. You just play an evil demon. Ultimate Online, Command and Conquer, that starts with, I would say, Tiberian Sun with EA, if I remember, and especially Red Alert 2. Red Alert 2 was really good. I played that a lot. SimCity, who doesn't know about SimCity? Medal of Honor, you know, when you think of an FPS, to me, that's the number one. The best Medal of Honor, Allied Assault. That's the best FPS to me. Man, I can go on and on, but those like The Sims, I don't like the games. I don't even see what the point of the game is, but hey, those are really popular games. Battlefield, I would say 2002. Whoops. Battlefield, let's see here. What did they made? I mean, from what, 2002, yeah, Battlefield 1942, that begins, yeah, with EA. Oh man, that is a good multiplayer game. Anyways, those are the EA games that I remember that were good, and then beginning 2000 or so, they started to go down. I mean, if you look at Command & Conquer, for example, just a quick example, like Command & Conquer, for whatever reason, Renegade also, I have that, like in full CD and everything. This is a weird title. I don't think it's really that good. It's just like a generic first-person shooter, but in the Command & Conquer universe. It's really weird. And what with all their bad games, what do you do in order to, I would say, improve it? Well, it's really easy. Those are my list of things that EA should do in order to become, let's say, to regain their reputation of not only PC gamers, but everyone around, because you know, what EA is doing right now is really not good. For example, to help with the longevity of a game, make it moddable, or at least support it, or do anything you can, when I speak to EA, of course, when I say this, to make the game moddable. If you want PC gamers to love your game, open it. It's really that simple. And stop killing the games. I see this especially with sports title, but multiplayer title as well. But for sports title, for example, you buy the game for 60, 70, like here in Canada, it's $80. It's not 60, like we pay a lot of taxes here. Especially in Quebec, it's like 15%. And that's like $80 or so. And what happens with that is that after a year or so, they turn off the server, which pisses me off and a lot it pisses a lot of other people off. It's simple. Don't do that. Or, you know what? Open it for other types of multiplayer. I mean, I know that online is cool, and the company is trying to put up some kind of, I would say what, some kind of like authentication system, like some kind of DRM, so they know they have like the most amount of money and there's the least piracy going around. Totally understandable, but there comes to a point that dedicated servers and LAN support, I'm sorry, but it has to come back. I'm just sick and tired of online. And by the way, there's a lot of VPN software out there. For example, one of the best popular, well, not the best, but a really popular one from logmein.com. I think it's called Imashi now. Well, I say log me in because you go to that website, you subscribe, and you can use Amashi, for example. So you just put up a free, it's free by the way from my understanding, and from the last time I checked it. It's like you create like a virtual private network on the internet. You just create one, which is easy to do in that software, and you and your buddies around the internet can log into that server. So it's a private server, and if you start the game with that VPN, it's actually going to detect a Mashi and go there, and you'll be able to play all of the older titles, by the way, which work with like LAN support. I usually did that with Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Command and Conquer, and all the others. I mean, it's really good. Open it up. I'm just sick and tired of going on the internet and finding that a game is cut off. For example, EA has been cutting off a lot of games lately. Well, they're multiplayer servers, I mean, and there have been some patches, some support here and there, but there's some older titles that, you know, when you put your master browser to a server that doesn't really work today, what do you have? You got a $60 game that you paid before that is really useless now. I would love to have some other LAN options or other multiplayer options which would help the longevity of a game. Especially mod support will seriously help that. What else here? The studios, stop killing them. This is a really important point. I mean, can you imagine if, I don't know, Pandemic Studios or Bullfrog or Maxis received the help of EA instead of getting killed by EA? They would have received, like, man, I'm pretty sure there's a list of games out there that could have been released, which would have been really good. But, you know, if you really wanted, like, the trust of the PC gamer and anyone around, stop acquiring company. Well, no, you know, don't stop acquiring companies. Just stop killing them. It's not going to help you if you get a company and kill it later. It really doesn't help you. What else here? This is something that I prefer to say, that I would say that I consider that is really important. Day one patches. Overall, it really gives a bad impression to the gamer, as in, well, for me it does, and I know I'm not alone here. When the game just got released and then you get a day one patch, it looks awful. It looks shady and weird. Like, I mean, what happened? Is there a problem with the management or the people on top where they take the decisions inside the company? If so, then, I don't know, fire them or change it or something, because, you know, this is getting really ridiculous here. And on PC, even though I'm kind of used to it, and most PC gamers are kind of used to it, especially with Steam and all of this digital content, and for a lot of years, when there's a game that has a problem, like the first thing I did when I installed a game, like for years it's been like that for me, I look for patches. I shouldn't do that. Can you imagine for a console gamer? That happens with a console gamer for whatever reason. You install the game, well, you download the game on console now, and then you got some patches to do. This should not exist. Number one, it's a console, and number two, what if the person doesn't have internet at that point, and the game is like beyond broken? Yeah, that happens, unfortunately. It is not impossible. So, you know, if you really want to, I would say, like, send out a good vibe to gamers, don't go with day one patches. If the game is not ready, then it's not ready. For a little indie corporation, I would really understand if they want to rush it out. But it has to be in good order, of course. I mean, it has to be really good, like in a workable state, of course. That I wouldn't understand. But for a company like EA, no. Those guys has a lot of capitals. They have a lot of cash, a lot of resources. And for God's sake, I mean, it's EA. Shouldn't you think that they have, like, if not the best, one of the best developers out there? If not, then what did you guys do? I mean, you are EA, right? I mean, you did start small, and you end up where you are today. Really big, really popular at this point. I'm not saying the best, I'm just saying popular. So, yeah, just maintain your reputation. Well, whatever you had or whatever you have left right now. And last, the DLC. I hate DLC. I hate microtransactions, but I hate to admit it, I have to look at it that way. It's here to stay. But please, stop being aggressive. this is the last thing, and the thing that really pisses me off, which I would tell you that I do not trust you. Like, all those points, like, this is nothing compared to the DLC. I mean, for example, just an example here, Battlefront, among all the other games that you have, Battlefront is a pure example of one not to do. Don't release a game. The game's not released yet. They already have 4 season passes, like, on schedule, on the board. If it's not developed now, it's ready to be released, I guess. This really doesn't help with your image. It doesn't help, well, with the image. It's not that this is weird because it's like I keep talking to EA when I don't think that's going to happen. But anyways, this should not happen. It shouldn't be that way. You want to release DLC? Fine. Do it later. Work on the core game, then work on the DLC later. That's how I look at it. This is like, I mean, to me, like, DLC, shouldn't it stand for downloadable content? Right? Yeah, right? Like extra content? And yeah, by the way, just make sure the DLC is not bigger than the core components, just like Battlefront, because, you know, that wouldn't make any sense. But looks like for Battlefront, for whatever reason, they made a lot of money with it. And yeah, they made a lot of money with it. Oh, man. And yeah, if you really want to get the trust of the PC gamer, like it says here on the article, don't do a trademark on the word ghost, which is one of the basic generic word that I can think of is ghost. You want to trade, well, you want to put a trademark on your game called Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon? I would understand. Totally understandable in that, I would say, like, in that direction, you know, if you want to put a trademark on that game so no other developers can take that name and use it for similar kind of game or name in relation to the word ghost or Ghost Recon, totally understandable. But Ghost? Come on, man, what the fuck? Oh, man, like, you're not helping, EA. Like, one day, you say, you know what, we're trying to regain the trust, and then, bam! Yeah, fuck Ubisoft, because they're not better, but... Anyway, yeah, if only EA would listen to those points. I'm pretty sure you guys have some points, and that's what I'm asking. I would say for... It could be any other publishers. You know what? Name the publisher and name what you want them to do in order to regain your trust. And, well, here's a better question. Should we trust publishers and developers? That is a great question, because I know for a fact that a lot of YouTube content creators, there's one in mind that he doesn't trust any publisher at all. And that's not his job. I totally understand that, and I think I have the same feelings. I don't think I'm going to trust EA no matter what they do. And I don't want to trust them. I mean, why? Why should I? They're here to make money, to make profit on my ass. At this point, I would consider they're here to steal my money with the practices they've been using for the last decade. Anyway, what are your thoughts, guys? I'd love to hear them. See you later.